Welcome to the Leadership Sparq podcast, where we equip you to be the great leader your people deserve. I'm Hampton, joined by Corey, and today we are talking about something really important. The best organizations, the best leaders are successional. They develop other leaders, and there's a word that's really important in developing other leaders, in building, in scaling, in growing, and it's delegation. If you talk to a leader, if you talk to a business owner, that word is probably going to come up, and it's not something that's super easy to do. I also have seen a lot of people struggle to do it because whatever it is something that they're probably better at than whoever they're going to pass it off to. And maybe it's your baby, your brainchild, and you don't want to pass it off. You don't want to trust somebody else. And to that, I would say, if you want to be a solopreneur for the rest of your life, or if you want to be, running around as a middle manager, doing every little thing and not empowering your people, then just don't delegate. But if you want to move on to bigger and better things and have more impact, and by the way, empower your people and give them more opportunities along the way, it's time to start delegating. So Corey, how do we do that?
Yeah. And most people that I've talked to, Hampton, want to grow in their career. Most people that are on your team, if you're a leader, want to grow in their career. And one of the key ways that you do that is you expand the responsibilities that you have, and you expand the responsibilities that your team has. And the only way to do that is to delegate some of the stuff that you do today to other people. But delegation actually is the final step, the act of handing something off to someone with a 100% delegated task is actually the last step. And so, Hampton, I thought it'd be good for us to talk about two models. One we call the training language, which we'll unpack in a second. And the other is situational leadership, which is a model Ken Blanchard created decades ago that really paint a picture of the work that needs to be done to get someone prepared to be delegated to. Because delegation, successional leadership, and delegating a specific task is all about the readiness of the leader behind you. Are they ready to receive the task that you're giving them, receive the work that you're trying to delegate, and have you done the work to prepare them to be able to do that at a level of excellence that you expect? And it may be different than you. It may be better than you in the long run, but are they ready to do that? And so from a situational leadership perspective, it starts by directing. So you're giving direction. You're telling people what to do, how to do it. It's more hands-on. And if someone's learning to do a task for the first time, then they need direction from you as a leader. And then as they become more competent and confident in doing it, they need you to take a little bit of a step back and be more of a coach. And then as they become more confident in doing it and more time goes by, they want you to and need you to support them. And ultimately, you get to delegating at that point because you have walked with them throughout a process of them developing the competency to do the task that you've delegated, but also the confidence to do it to where you can take a full step back. You can move on to do something else, the next great thing that you want to do, and have full confidence that the person that you've delegated to can carry that task on and even do it better than you can in the long run. So one model to think about is the situational leadership model. But Hampton, we also have our training language, which is what? Tell them
why, show them how, get them started, keep them going, and then help them reproduce.
So if you think about that, one more time, Hampton, I'm testing you. What?
Tell them why, show them how, get them started, keep them going, help them reproduce.
So if you want to get to the point to where you can really delegate, because a lot of times when people talk about delegating, they're talking about completely pushing a task to someone else for them to do and own 100%. If you want to get to that point, you go through those 5 steps that Hampton just talked about. And if you follow that process, you're going to position the people that you're delegating to be successful at actually executing on the task that you're giving them, which then ultimately gives you as the leader the freedom. You feel the freedom to be able to go on and focus your attention on something else because you can fully trust that the person doing the work can do it at a even ultimately at a different level than you can. And so, Hampton, what are some go and do's when it comes to becoming more skilled and better positioned in how we think about delegating as a leader?
A couple things. You want to identify the strengths and skills of your team members to delegate tasks that align with their abilities. If you're having a hard time doing that, here's a simple question that we ask at a lot of the reviews, lots of the one-on-ones that we do. What is one skill set that you feel like you're not being utilized for? So you can always ask your people that, and you might be surprised at some of the things that you learn about them. So identify those strengths and skills of your team members and then delegate it to them. And then again, going back to what Corey said, you got to trust them to handle the delegated responsibilities and avoid micromanaging. But if you delegate too early, then don't be surprised if you do have to come back in. So that's why it's important to go back through that process, and then always be available to offer guidance and support. There's a quote that I love. It was actually from our partners, Chick-fil-A, and we don't have enough time for this story, but long story short, Truett Cathy, when he handed something off to longtime President Tim Tassopoulos, it was a huge project. He said, "You own this, but I'm here to help. You own this, but I'm here to help." Think about it that way.